Honourable members, question time. The Honourable Deputy Opposition Leader.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker, for recognizing the people of Hiri-Koiari. Deputy Speaker, my question today is direct equity interest in the PNG LNG project on behalf of the landowners and impacted provincial governments as originally contemplated under the 2008 Kokopo UBSA and the 2009 LBBSAs. That decision, Mr. Deputy Speaker, directs that the 4.27% equity be transferred to a special purpose vehicle from Kumul Petroleum Holdings Limited, and also approve the allocation of 30 million kina in reimbursable seed capital to the SPV. And the board of that SPV is created and constitutes as follows. There's a Heights PDL landowners and Hela project areas to be rotated every 2 years. The Southern Highlands PDL2 and pipeline project area to be rotated every 2 years. An independent director with investment financial institution background, an independent director representing pipeline project area in Gulf, Western and Central Province to be rotated every 2 years. The governor for Hela, ex officio director permanent. The governor for Southern Highlands, ex officio director representing Southern Highlands Province. And the governor for Gulf Province, ex officio rotational every 2 years. Critically, Mr. Speaker, this board structure contains no dedicated seat for the plant site landowners of Hiri-Koiari in Central Province and the very communities upon whose land the entire PNG LNG facility sits, where the capex and the marketability and commercial viability of gas is crystallized, where storage tanks are kept and marine export terminal is domiciled. The governor of Central Province holds no ex officio seat, and neither do the plant site landowners named in the directorship structure of this SPV. Mr. Speaker, my questions are fourfold. Given that the NEC decision establishes the interim board of the Croton Equity Option Special Purpose Vehicle without a dedicated directorship or ex officio seat for the Central Province Governor or the plant site landowners of Hiri-Koiari, who host the PNG LNG facility, could the Prime Minister tell the people of Papua New Guinea and the plant site landowners and the Central Province people on what legal basis were the plant site landowners and Central Province government excluded from dedicated representation on the Croton Equity Option SPV board, given their status as the host community for the project primary infrastructure under the relevant agreements? And if the Prime Minister could also enlighten us if the government will review or amend the decision and the governing structure as it stands to accommodate a seat, a permanent seat or ex officio seat for the Central Province people and also the plant site landowners. Alternatively, Mr. Deputy Speaker, is the Prime Minister and his NEC able to review that decision so that a dedicated Croton Equity Special Purpose Vehicle is created for the plant site license holders? So the landowners for the plant site area is partitioned from Hela interest and Southern Highlands interest and the Gulf interest. And if so, what steps can they take to accommodate this interest so that there is no disadvantage on the part of the plant site landowners and the Central Provincial Government? As it stands, and on face value, this decision of the NEC 64/2026 dated 8th April 2026 is divisive and oppressive and, of course, biased only in favor of certain interest areas or certain people in this country. This is completely against the dictates of the Constitution and the National Goals and Directive Principles for equitable distribution of national resources. Thank you, Deputy Speaker.
The Honourable Prime Minister.
All right. Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Give him opportunity, Member Blohiri Query, for him to ask a question, important question to seek clarity on some NEC decision or NEC decision that was taken. I want to firstly indicate to this House, Mr. Deputy Speaker, that the decision taken is not divisive to the country or to the PNG LNG landowners and the provincial governments who are important stakeholders in the PNG LNG project. It is not offensive to them also. It is in direct fulfillment of a kind gesture by NA government policy. In 2008, 2009, when the Kokopo UB Umbrella Benefit Sharing Agreement was signed at Kokopo in 2009. Mr. Deputy Speaker, you and me were in the Parliament. I was given the extraordinary privilege of my life in that vote on the night when NA government policy was announced. Myself and Governor Agiru, late Governor Agiru, God bless his soul, were invited by then Prime Minister Grand Chief Sir Michael Somare into his booth of Kokopo, Minister Wong, what's that place? Not Kokopo Beach Bungalow. Of Kokopo Beach Bungalow into his booth when the 4.27 equity parcel was gifted, not just to Hela provincial landowners or Southern Islands provincial landowners, but to the entire 60,000 people who would be associated with PNG LNG project as landowners from upstream. PDL 9, PDL 8, PDL 7, PDL 1, PDL 2, PDL 5 and 6, and PDL 3. And then the pipeline, the 800 kilometers of pipeline that runs from the ridges of Mount Gigira all the way through the plains of Gulf into the floor of the southern oceans of our country from Gulf to Central, and of course our wonderful people at Papa, Lele, Porebada, and Borea villages. Mr. Deputy Speaker, I want to give full assurance. I hold memory to that gift, and it's a gift for these people, not just for the Hela province. And if there was a cabinet decision that hasn't been officially released to the public as yet, but if there was a cabinet decision that didn't include the plant side landowners, then that is a mistake or that is a fallacy. Plant side landowners are important. They are my people as much as they are member for Hiri Koiris people. They are included in this restructuring that is taking place. The 5 provincial governments, all in all, are included in this structure. I give you all a context. That 4.27% was given at the backdrop of landowners, especially landowners from Heights, and landowners from Kudubu and Moran, and of course, along the pipeline areas, where proper landowner identification was not made as yet, inconsistent with Oil and Gas Act requirements. Without proper landowner identification, Mr. Deputy Speaker, portion 152, the PNG LNG area land, was already an alienated land to the state.
Honourable Prime Minister, we have point of order. Deputy Opposition Leader, what's your point of order?
Whether the land is alienated or not is irrelevant. Point of order is that the composition excludes a seat for central governor and plant site landowners. And the question is whether there will be a review to include them, or alternatively, will they partition the SPV into license-based areas, so plant site will have its own Croton equity held away from everybody else.
Honorable Deputy Opposition Leader, your point of order is in order. I understand that the Prime Minister is still in the process of answering your question, so I'll allow the Prime Minister to answer to your question.
Mr. Speaker, sometimes it pays to listen and not jumping the gun and asking questions. You may be shocked even with the answer in itself. Mr. Speaker, this gesture came at the backdrop of landowners from areas that were not yet identified. Portion 152 is an identified area. We know exactly the villages that profited that land or gave this land to the state many, many years. And they already embraced. But the other areas that were not yet identified, just to corral 60,000 landowners, including the honorable leaders, our people here, just to corral them into putting their signatures into paper was itself a mammoth task. All you have to ask is us, and I'm privileged to have Minister Duma sitting on the front bench, was the Minister of Petroleum then. Full acknowledgement to him, the late Grand Chief Sir Michael Somare, Arthur Somare, Sepu Katemu on the other side, my good brother, member for Yalu Pangia, and others who were there. We had to muscle in and corral the landowner leaders to sign. 60,000 of them. 4.27% was a gesture to them saying, we know we haven't fully identified you, but there's a parcel, because the request was something must be given. 4.27% was allocated to them. Kumul held 16.57% total stake in PNG LNG. Of that 16.57%, the dilution was to take place. I want to inform this House that of that, since first gas in 2014, Kumul has been a beneficiary of over 12 billion kina, including benefiting from 4.27% parcel in that life, or in the life of the last 11 years of earning from PNG LNG. State of PNG has been beneficiary to over 17 billion kina in direct tax as corporate income tax from PNG LNG. The 4.27% is a parcel that is earmarked as project security for PNG LNG. Landowners, whether at the plant site or at the upstream PDL sites, are embraced in this 4.27%. The cabinet paper that came in embraced plant site as much as all PDLs and pipeline. Because Southern Islands and Hela put together are custodian of almost 98%. And in fact, today as we speak, 100% of all the gas that is currently supplying into PNG LNG, with the main infrastructure up there in Heights and associate backbone infrastructure, Heights PDL 8 and PDL 1, I beg your pardon, PDL 7 and PDL 1. And PDL 8 gas has gone into PNG LNG today from Angore, and it runs through a major spine of the project is a PDL 2 in Kutubu. We felt advisable, and within the spirit of the UBSA agreement, that PDL 2 governor, PDL 7, 8, 9 governor, and half of 9, in fact, majority is in Western Province. So we clustered at two main PDLs, main provinces. They have a permanent representative in this structure, but there's a rotation between Gulf, Western, and Central in every 2 years, a rotation that sits in this trusty vehicle that we want to set up. This 4.27% is not entitlement of law, but a government policy, NA government policy that has gifted the 5 provinces and the 60,000 landowners for their support to PNG LNG when it was in concept stage, right through construction and first gas up to 11 years on, the project has been in production. So it will be detached from Kumul Petroleum. It will be set up in a structure that is represented by all landowners from in the structure that we propose. If there are ways to improve this, I'm very certain we'll consider recommendations from the member concerned, because it represents important people from the plant site. It's not meant to be exclusive. It's not meant for only one block or one people. It is a structure that embraces totality, the 60,000 landowners, from upstream all the way down to plant site. It represents the entire 5 provincial governments. And there will be rotational basis with the permanent presence of Southern Islands and Hela as the substantial the holders of the gas in which it is harvested from. They sit inside because they have a duty, as a duty of security, that even member for Karikuhiri will not, member for Hiri-Kweri will not do. It's not an easy task containing landowners in PDL1, PDL8, PDL7.
We have point of order. Deputy Opposition Leader.
Question the Prime Minister, the importance of the plant site cannot be belittled against the resource. We acknowledge the resource comes from Hela and Southern Islands, but without the export terminal and without the processing facility, that gas is of no commercial value. Please, I caution the Prime Minister to be a bit more inclusive and equitable in our delivery and also in the distribution of natural resources. That's my point. And if the best way is to separate the plant site landowners from the rest of you, can have your politics separated and partitioned away from the plant site landowners. Thank you.
Honorable Deputy Opposition Leader, like I've acknowledged your point of order is in order. I will not allow you to debate on the question that you have raised, so I'll allow the Prime Minister to sum up your answers to the question.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, I take note of his concerns. As I said, the structure will be inclusive to all. They all will be fairly represented. And there's a place for the plant site and pipelines on the board in this company. There's a place for the leaders, especially governors, on the board in this special purpose vehicle. We intend to follow the spirit of St. Michael's gesture. It will not be a cash cow structure that gets funded and funneled to the provinces. They're currently benefiting from the royalties and equities. This should have an element of sovereign wealth fund attached to it. Majority of these funds should be set for perpetual regeneration for these 5 provinces and the 60,000 landowners, including our people at the plant site. They're very much important in this as much as the upside. I don't dispute this. They're my people as much as his people. The 2 governors in Southern Islands and Hela needs to be committed, and Gulf. They substantially, because it's a very many people, people with so many interests. The 2 governors burn midnight oil every time to keep the people in check. It's never an easy place up there to make sure people are in check. I also commend the landowners from the plant side all the way to the upstream, PDL9, PDL1, PDL8. I thank them for their patience. It has been a long time coming. The country has benefited over 12 million kin already, including them. Whatever the country takes, we plow back through the budget through our people. So we thank them for their patience, but it's better late than never. A structure that is we set aside. We will consult leaders on all sides, including the landowner leaderships, so that they're happy with the structure we intend to set up. Cabinet decision is to detach the 4.27% from the Kumul Petroleum books, set it up. We'll invite all leaders concerned, look at the structure we want to set up. It is meant to be perpetual. And I want to say the distribution is clearly spelled out in the UBS already. The plant site, I think, has 12% benefit in this structure. So it will not be a new reinvention or we'll renegotiating who gets what. The entire benefit structure is already set up in the UBS agreement. Plant site has the ratio already carved out. Pipelines have the ratio already carved out. The PDLs have the ratio already carved out. Based on what is already carved out in 2009 UBSA and the respective LBBSAs, that structure will be set up to look at perpetual wealth generation to distribute to the beneficiaries concerned. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
We have a supplementary member for Yali Bupangia.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. And my supplementary to the Prime Minister is that my understanding of the UBSA agreement. And firstly, let me thank the government for making this decision to transfer the 4.27% to the special purpose vehicle in order for the landowners and provincial governments to have visibility of their shareholding on this PNG LNG project. I think that's timely, and credit must be given to, and acknowledgement must be given to both Somare, Prime Minister Michael Somare, and of course others who have played a leading role in ensuring this. Now, the special purpose vehicle under the UBSA agreement, as I recall, also been participating in Kokopo and other various meetings about this PNG LNG project, was that it was for the benefit of the landowners and provincial governments, not for the benefit or interference of the national government. I recall my late Governor Anderson Aguirre's words very clearly, that he wanted no political interference in the setting up of this vehicle and this particular company going forward. So, Mr. Speaker, whilst I commend the government for creating this special purpose vehicle, I think after almost close to 17 years of this project being in existence, I think the landowners are quite well organized. The provincial governments are quite well organized. I don't see why the Prime Minister should create a special vehicle where the government is in control of this vehicle, where he himself is a trustee and his Chief of Staff is the acting CEO. Whilst I acknowledge the government's decision to create this vehicle for the benefit of the landowners, I think it's only fair that the Prime Minister and the government allow the landowners and the provincial governments establish and manage this special purpose vehicle. Mr. Speaker, I think the Prime Minister should do that. So I ask him whether he can consider transferring the responsibility of managing this fund directly to the landowners and the provincial governments. Second issue, Mr. Speaker, is the Prime Minister to consider is that having no beneficial interest, that's a state having no beneficial interest in this particular 4.27%. I think, and given the government's record of managing and mismanaging many things, I think it's only fair that the special purpose vehicle is controlled by the landowners. Second, Mr. Speaker, is that now after 17 years, we have now seen that PNG LNG is no longer having loan obligations. The loans are fully repaid. That simply means that more and more dividends and tax is coming to the state and the landowners. And these landowners are also going to be beneficiaries of dividends going into the future. Now, only Prime Minister himself has stated very clearly that so far they have received 12 billion kina in revenues. Now, when we know that all the government services, health, education, law, or whatever it is struggling to survive out there, struggling to deliver these services out there, I think it is in public interest that we know where the money is going, where the money is spent, or whether there are savings. If there are savings, how much money is in the bank? Can the Prime Minister please publish this, whether the audit reports or the amounts that has been saved or spent? I think it is in public interest that they should be aware and they know this. It is because why Prime Minister and this Honourable House is that ExxonMobil, the people who are paying the dividends and paying the state taxes, are publishing their amounts that they are paying to the government. We don't know where all this money is going. I think it's only fair that the Prime Minister publishes this. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Member for Yalupanya, we have a point of order. Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. No, thank you, Honourable Member for Yalupanya. It seems to be a statement and a question straight. That's why I raise this point of order. But anyway, he has finished. Thank you.
Honourable Minister, this is a supplementary question. Yes, the Chair is about to ask the Honourable Member to bring your statement to our question so that we can proceed. So, Honourable Member.
you, Deputy Speaker. We're talking about billions of kina of public monies here. I mean, if ministers and members don't appreciate that, I don't know why we are here. So I think it's only fair that the Prime Minister for Public Accountability does the right thing. That's all we are asking him to do. The third and the last question is that, Prime Minister, our late Governor Anderson Agaru's wisdom, in his wisdom, he's always been accommodating. And the concerns raised by the Planside landowners and their leaders, he needs to get back and allow that their request be accommodated as soon as possible. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. I am happy that the member for Yalu Pangia has asked this question, and I'm happy that he seems to be showing signs of amnesia or dementia. Mr. Speaker, the first gas flowed in 2014. The UBSA is explicit. The 5 provincial governments and the entire landowners would have been given the right to exercise the option of purchase in 2014. That exercise of right was not conferred. Unfortunately, the 4.27% was parcel off for the UBS transaction. Mr. Speaker, we are here now 11 years later. And I'm happy he's asked for a full report on the 12 billion kina that has been passed on to Kumul Petroleum. And it will be my absolute honor and privilege to table to this House, since 2014, what has happened to this
Prime Minister,
fund belonging to our country.
We have a point of order. Member for Yalu Pangia, what's your point of order?
I know the Prime Minister is smiling and excited by himself about what he has just stated, but I think Prime Minister wants to play political games with this particular very important issue. I mean, he was my finance minister. He knows very well, even after spending 30 million kina in a commission of inquiry on UBS, he knows very well that that is not true. We never ever mortgaged off the 4.2%. The only mortgage were the shares of oil sets. That was about 10%. That was the state owned it and oil sets that we have already mortgaged to the Arabs. For goodness sake, just stick on to the issues that I attend. And I'm giving you acknowledgement that you are doing the right thing, and you want to agitate politics on the floor. Just because you have nothing else to play with or say. So just accept the fact that, as Aguru stated, he did not want any dirty political ends into the funds of the landowners. That's what he meant, and you and I know what he said. So just do the right thing. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Member for Yalu Pangia, your point of order is in order, but I would not like you to debate and pull this matter into a discussion of it. Let me allow the Prime Minister to answer your question.
Mr. Speaker, Deputy Speaker, the wrong thing he did, I'm trying to do it right now. There's a reason why I left his cabinet. 4.27% would have been distance right from 2014. The 5 provinces and the landowners would have been given the right to exercise, purchase. Price was set, deadline was agreed, no option was given to them to exercise the right from 2014 all the way to May 30th, 2019, when this government took office, and right up till today. Those obligations of Kumul Petroleum pinned down us distancing this. And as responsible government, people like me paid the high price. Even back at my local electorate, we tell them, wait till state has fully distanced obligation in the PNG LNG project. Today, I want to inform people of Iri, Koeri, right up to PDL 9, that we are distancing this 4.27% in a structured way. PDL, all the PDLs, all the pipelines up to plant site. You've held this fundamental, monumental huge economic project that has transformed our country together, and I say thank you to all our landowners, including my landowners at the plant site. You've been wonderful. This structure will invite the local members concerned, local governors together. You'll contribute to the structure. It is not meant to be a national government structure. It must be a structure owned by these project beneficiaries, and Cabinet has indicated a way forward. If the 5 provinces, the landowners felt there's a better structure, we stand to be advised. The only thing we don't change is 10 commandments. Cabinet decisions can be changed. So long as something that is good for our people, we'll make sure we adapt to set up something that I want to contribute is it must not be a cash grant that goes out for just consumption today. They're consuming that royalty already. They're consuming the equity already. You ask the provinces. You're getting money from equity, you're getting money from development levy, you're getting money from royalty. So I think that I want to thank Governor Powie and Governor Habata, Governor Undialu, Governor Rufina. You're all good governors. You will agree with the element of setting a structure away from national government, away from even provincial governments, away from landowner leaderships, a structure that could stand the test of time. Owning 4.27% in PNG LNG is a premium asset of a project already de-risked. So, as government today, just as much as Somali government had the foresight to give this 4.27% to the 5 provinces and landowners as project security, we don't want to make it an asset that is wasted. It must stand up the test of time as a perpetual wealth generator for the 5 provinces together going forward. So I want to give assurance to this House and to the member for Hiri Kwari for asking a good question. It is an inclusive intention. If an oversight was made, we will correct this. And the member will sit in the discussions. The governors, 5 governors will sit together. We want a structure that will perpetually harvest wealth and sustain wealth and generate wealth that is not just for today's generation, but for the next generation that is coming. It is the intention of this paper. Will make clarity. It will stand the test of time beyond this time. I want to give that assurance to the House. Thank you.
Member
for Yalupangi asked on the report in Kumul Petroleum. The report in Kumul Petroleum will come in its fullest. And it's in the interest of every one of us to understand what has happened to this money that has gone to Kumul Petroleum. I give an assurance to this House. The entire earnings from Kumul Petroleum, from shipment 1 to the last shipment, will present to this House and the people of this country as a full benefit of the money that has come in that is meant for the benefit of our country. So we give full assurance. Logara, 12 billion or 13 billion is still growing as we speak. Whatever money comes from Kumul Petroleum, it is our people's money. We'll make sure this House and the country knows about how Kumul Petroleum has spent their funds from 2014 onwards. Thank you.
Member for Talasia.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. My question, without notice, is directed to the Minister for International Trade and Investment. Minister for Commerce and Industry and Minister for Labour and Migration to take note. I rise to the attention of this Honourable House the growing concern and frustration of our people of Western Britain province regarding what they see as a systematic displacement of Papua New Guineans business by large foreign conglomerate companies operating in the province. For more than 40 years, local Western Britain-based contractors and SME have participated meaningfully in construction, civil works, oil palm estate replanting, and excavation works associated with New Britain Palm Oil Limited. These activities have provided employment, income, and a pathway for our people to build sustainable local enterprises. However, Mr. Speaker, recent developments indicate that a number of foreign conglomerate companies linked to or contracted under Semi-Dabi, the operator of New Britain Palm Oil Limited, have now taken over many of these commercial opportunities. They are dominating construction and civil works, oil palm replanting, and excavation contracts, creating a de facto monopoly and marginalizing the local businesses in Western Britain. our people in West Britain province are deeply concerned that local companies can no longer compete with these large foreign entities. Local benefits are being extracted out of the province and the country, rather than circulating within local communities. And their basic rights to participate in business in their own country, as envisaged under the Constitution and national development policies, are being undermined. There are also serious questions, Mr. Speaker, as to whether these companies are properly registered as foreign or PNG companies, complying with all PNG laws and regulatory requirements, paying the correct taxes and lodging company and annual returns, and employing foreign workers only with valid work permits and in accordance with our labor and immigration laws. Given that New Britain Palm Oil runs the plantations, mills and canal crushing operations in Western Britain, and that major subcontracting opportunities once enjoyed by local business operators have now been absorbed by these conglomerates, the people of Western Britain are calling for a thorough investigation and audit into these operations. Mr. Speaker, this is not merely a commercial dispute. It is about protecting and securing the business rights of Papua New Guineans in Western Britain province now and into the next 50 years, consistent with the spirit and intent of our Constitution and our national economic empowerment policies. My questions without notice are, Mr. Speaker, can the Minister inform this Honourable House whether the government is aware of the growing dominance of foreign conglomerate companies contracted under Sami Darby or New Britain Palm Oil in Western Britain province, and the resulting displacements of local Papua New Guinean business from constructions, civil works, palm estate replanting, and excavation contracts that were traditionally reserved for local companies? 2, will the Minister direct the relevant government agencies, namely the Department of Commerce and Industry, the Department of International Trade and Investment, the Investment Promotion Authority, the Internal Revenue Commission, PNG Customs Service, and the Department of Labour and Immigration to immediately travel to Western Britain to conduct a full investigation and audit into whether these companies are properly registered as foreign or PNG companies, whether they are subsidiaries or related entities of Sami Darby conglomerate, whether they are fully compliant with PNG laws, including tax obligations, company returns and annual returns, and whether all foreign employees engaged by these companies all have valid work permits and are employed in accordance with our labour and immigration laws. If such investigation and audit confirms that these companies are in breach of PNG laws or unfairly displacing local businesses, will the Minister commit to taking corrective action to protect and restore commercial opportunities for local Western Britain and Papua New Guineans owned companies in Western Britain, developing and enforcing clear policy and regulatory safeguards to ensure that over the next 50 years, the business rights of our people in Western Britain are protected and prioritized in line with the Constitution, and governs policies to take back PNG and economic empowerment agenda. Thank you, Deputy Speaker.
The Honourable Minister for Internal Trade and Industry.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I'd like to thank the good member for asking a very, very important question. Firstly, I want to state on record, my office is not aware of these allegations. This is the first time I've heard about it. Secondly, I want to assure the member that all he has to do now is reduce his question in writing to me as a formal complaint, name the specific companies that you are referring to, how long has this been going on, so I can take a look at it and talk to my other colleague ministers, and we can, if we establish it's necessary, send in a full government investigating team to go and investigate the allegations. These are very serious, one we cannot allow, and as a responsible government, like we did in the case of East New Britain oil palm growers complaint, we took the matter to court and secured 20 million for the growers. We are going to deal with it. So please bring the complaint to me in writing, and I want to assure you in Parliament, we are going to deal with that as soon as possible. Thank you.
Supplementary question, member for Wabek.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. I think supplementary to that question being asked, I think now you may look at all kind or line. I don't know whether the question is to the relevant minister, but I'll ask anyway. We see a lot of people going to the settlements, going to the villages, running trade stores, and running small businesses that were supposed to be reserved for our indigenous people. Now, longer time now, people are still wait long line lo implementing Misla and enforcing something. One time, but you may enforce Misla. Because now people are looking at all trade store long all settlement and all line, all kind line long, all Narapla country all running. Our line from Mipla was on him, Mr. Speaker. Mipla Lukumosem, and number one. Number two, Mipla Lukumosem. Inside of city blom Mipla all online blom Mipla come up marginalized now. Over the ground, over the something, and all Narvala Nukloxim. So this is a country, and when you take him back PNG, or you make him PNG, and you may give him go back. This is a government now. Slogan where you may come and talk, take back PNG. Are we really taking back PNG, or are we giving it away to our friends and cronies? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am not the minister responsible for the reserve list NIPA. That question should be redirected to the Minister for Commerce. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable member for Wabek, I would ask you to reserve your question and maybe ask in the tomorrow question time so we can direct it to the minister who is responsible to respond to your question. That is a very important question for our nation, so I'll give you an opportunity to ask that question maybe tomorrow. The honorable member for Abao.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker, for the opportunity for the Abao people to ask a question this afternoon. On their behalf, my question is directed to the good Minister for Petroleum. Given the very long and frustrated delays of the Papua project, and given that there is really no news from Total after PM's visit to the important country where they are based, I'm worried that some of these important projects may not meet their timelines as announced by the Minister or the Prime Minister. And therefore, in that regard, I would request the good Minister for Petroleum to update the Honourable House and the country on the current status of Mile 1, PPL 576. It's also the license is held by Total. Could the Minister update the Honourable House as to where are we with regards to the announcement that was made for a deep-sea drilling ship to reach the source of Papua New Guinea by late June or July? Are we on time with regards to that public announcement after the Sydney meeting last December? Second question. We have enjoyed a non-stop exportation of oil. I think that's a credit to us as a country, oil exporting country, for the last 28 to 34 years. Kutubu, Moran, and Gobe. It's now 3 decades since we've been exporting oil. And given the issues that the world is facing with the war in the Middle East and the famous Canal Gormuz, where 20% of the world's oil passes through, I think there should be a greater interest for our government and our people as to the prospectivity we have in the country. And I want to request the Honorable Minister of where are these highly prospective areas in the country so that the government can utilize this enormous opportunity to sit down with the investors and facilitate the progress of these important PPLs that have been publicly announced. For me in Abao, I have 3 PPL interests. One is PPL 576, which is Mile 1, PPL 579 and 695 held by Larus, and PPL 697 held by ExxonMobil. These are highly prospective, and according to the petroleum industry, if Mile 1 is drilled as per the pronounced timetable before the end of this year, and hopefully before December, Total makes the announcement that this is a highly prospective resource and that this is a commercially viable project, then the adjacent PPLs, in the petroleum language they call it play is on. That means that the other 2 adjacent, Larus and ExxonMobil, will be able to be incentivized to drill again. That means that for me in Abao and Central Province, the prospects are enormous. Is this the way the minister is reading this? And we, therefore, are interested to know on the progress of this important resource. The important issue, Mr. Speaker, as I have, Deputy Speaker, I have mentioned the Gobe, Moran and Kutubu oil production. I think they are already 85% exhausted. And therefore, our refinery, Papa refinery, is now only producing, I understand from the 2023 figures, less than 30 barrels per day, 30,000 barrels per day. And I think that because of the supply, we may come to a period where Papa will no longer sustain. And therefore, the need for us, for the government, to now start talking about building and establishing an oil refinery policy in this country. Imino can export him this crude oil again. We must now, because we believe we are highly prospectous in oil, we must now have a policy ready that we will build the next oil refinery in Papua New Guinea. In Papua New Guinea, Nigeria, all Giamanim advice all Nigeria, one of the biggest producers in all countries, all Giamanim all advice, all big pla. It doesn't read 100,000 barrels per day, so you don't deserve a world-class refinery. It doesn't achieve 60,000 to 100,000 barrels
Honorable
per day.
Member, put your question.
Can I
Ask your question.
request to extend question time? I wanted to do this because this is the time we must be serious about the policy on oil refinery in this country. So may I request the extension of question time so that this important question can be properly answered, asked and answered by the Minister.
Honorable Member, you're still in the process of asking your question, and the question time has already lapsed. So I will ask you to complete your question and allow the Minister to reply to your question.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. The issue of 30 years of free oil fields in the country, and if you go up there, visit those 3 oil fields in the country, 3 decades of producing, nothing much there. In the next finds that we are prospecting, for example, for us in Central in Abao, on those 3 PPLs I have announced, I hope that we will never make the same mistake. And so I'm asking the Minister, have you prepared a policy for Papua New Guinea to start considering building oil refineries on the next finds that are now looking very, very positive in the country? Thank you.
The Honorable Minister for Petroleum.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Because the time is up, I would request the Chair to extend the question time, please.
Honourable Minister, Honourable Minister, like I've said, the question time has already lapsed, but you still have the floor to reply, so you can go ahead. You can go ahead and reply to the question.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker, and thank you, Member for Abao, for very detailed questions and very important questions too for the country. There's a number of questions, and I will request him to put it in writing, and I will answer it fully and in detail, because these are important questions that the country has to know. But before I sit down and I would like to say that in relation to Papuan LNG, it's a significant project for the country. Regardless of what we do in this House, or regardless what we say, I want to give a detailed answer to the country, so the country knows what position and what particular timeline when we will have the development of this project to start. As to Mailu, it is a significant project too, undertaking by Total Energy, and I agree with the member that if we do come successfully in drilling, which will take about 50 days when the drill ship gets there, all the other surrounding areas which have no licenses issued, I've already frozen them, because I'm waiting for the outcome of the drilling of Total. And as he correctly said, if it strikes positively, obviously all the other license areas that are vacant are in play. I won't go very much, but if the good member can put all these questions in writing to me, I will this week seek your leave, Deputy Speaker, and I will answer them in detail. Thank you.
Honourable members, our question time has lapsed. Leader of Government Business.
Deputy Speaker, I move that Parliament do now adjourn until tomorrow, 10 o'clock a.m.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those in favour say aye. And those against say no. Ayes have it. Honourable members, I now adjourn Parliament to tomorrow, 10 o'clock a.m.